Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about Season 1 of the Amazon original, The Boys. So, The Boys is based off the graphic novel of the same name. I actually have it right here, at least just the first volume. And what do you know? It's Simon Pegg right there in the comics. Isn't that neat? The Boys tells a story of a world where superheroes are real and tries to look at how that would probably work in real life. So, as you would expect, superheroes are essentially a corporate business where one company has a monopoly on the space. They do comic books, movies, TV shows, festivals, and they also fight crime, sort of. Most well known of the hundreds of superheroes employed by this company are the Seven. These are the Avengers, the Justice League, the top of the top. So the story in The Boys revolves around two main aspects. One is collateral damage, how the lives of the little non-super people are affected by the mayhem that can be caused by superheroes, the things that the Marvel movies don't typically show you. And two, what are superheroes actually like? They are basically gods, so how are they like as people behind the mask of PR? The show explores this through the perspective of Huey when his girlfriend becomes collateral damage, and Annie, a super who hopes to join the Seven. Okay, so let the praise of this show begin because I freaking loved it. Listen, I didn't love the comics. I thought it had a fantastic premise, but kind of like other Garth Ennis comics like The Preacher, the premise is brilliant, the beginning is really good, and then it just becomes excessive and all over the place and just too much. The show does change the story a bit, and there is one central theme to the show that the show changes from the comics a little bit, which is unfortunate, but generally the show does a fantastic job at taking this idea and delivering it in a concise and interesting way. The best part about this show, for me at least, was Karl Urban. In one of the best casting decisions I've ever seen, Karl Urban plays Billy Butcher, a man whose life has also been thrown off track by superheroes, specifically by Homelander, the Superman of this world, who, by the way, is played by the guy from Banshee, Anthony Starr, and it was just so much fun seeing him in such a different role. So Billy teams up with Hugh and a bunch of others in what is essentially an attempt to take down superheroes. And Karl Urban just shines in this role. It's not just that he's incredibly fun to watch, he is, but he also does such a good job at delivering everything that's dark about this guy and how he deals with it through this persona that he adapted himself into. One of the most interesting aspects of this show is exploring the personalities of superheroes. Here are people who are so beyond the experience of a regular person, both in power and in wealth, that it becomes impossible for them to look at people and not as ants that can be stepped on. And the show explores just how messed up that makes them. It doesn't get as graphic as the comics, but it does explore how they are incapable of feeling empathy, how impossible it is for them to be denied anything, and how in any situation it's the massive corporation that profits from lifting these people even higher. I guess that could be taken as a commentary on corporately owned celebrities. I mean, it definitely is, but it's up to you if you want to take it as that or as if superheroes existed, this is exactly how they would work. Because it is. The show is probably not as action-packed as you would expect, but I wouldn't call that a negative since the show is paced so well, and at 8 episodes it feels just as long as it needs to be. It does not drag on. My main criticism of the show is actually something I can't talk about here because this is a spoiler-free review, but it's pretty minor, and also there's this one action scene towards the end of the show that was supposed to be very climactic, but it kind of sucks. But I'm really nitpicking at this point because I loved this show. Bottom line, should you watch it? Absolutely. This is the type of show that just wouldn't work if it didn't have the level of budget and production quality and talent behind it. And with all of that, they were able to take a fascinating premise and execute on it incredibly well. This is a great looking, well-paced show that explores something that is pretty complex and terrible and dark, but at the same time, it's entertaining and fun to watch, and Karl Urban is just the best. Obviously, I've never met him, I never will, so until I learn otherwise, I'll just keep believing that he is the best. I am really hoping to see a season 2 of this. I hope that it's not going to take them years and years to make it. I do know that they are currently filming season 2. I know this because I follow Karl Urban on Instagram, because as I said previously, he is the best. There are plenty of places where they could take season 2. I haven't read the graphic novel beyond volume 1. I did read like bits and pieces of the other volumes, but I didn't read the whole thing, so I'm not sure like which storyline they're gonna go with. But I really hope that they keep it as concise and like tight as season 1 was. Something else that I really liked about how the show handled the superheroes themselves are the similarities between them and the superheroes that they are sort of parodying or mimicking. Like Homelander is Superman, Queen Maeve is Wonder Woman, but it's more than just kind of mocking them. It's exploring questions that you would have about Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and reflecting a lot of, I guess, the feelings that pop culture has towards those superheroes, if that makes sense. They were able to bring all of those together into this show, into the personality of each superhero, and kind of make fun of it in the process. I'm being super careful here because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just handled very well. What about you? Have you watched The Boys? Have you read the graphic novel? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let's get the conversation going. I'm also picking up our Discord server again, so feel absolutely free to join us there and talk about it there. I still don't have my own user, so I can't moderate too much, but I just created a new user, and it's working fine so far. It's a really good, wholesome community, at least so far. So there wasn't any need like to use moderation. But yeah, if you're going to be talking about spoilers, please use spoiler tags in your comments. And if you're finding Binge Watchers for the first time, welcome. I'd like to invite you to join the Binge Watchers community. Come talk about you with us. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe to the channel. But in any case, keep binging. And I will see you next time.